Hello everybody, it's Larissa Reynolds.
It's Nate back here again. How y'all doing?
And we are the owners of Never Settle Fitness. So today we want to talk to you guys on this Trainer Talk Tuesday about the 5 reasons why you are not getting results in the gym, or in our case right now, at home, for your at-home workout. So 5 different reasons here that you can look into and address to see why you're not getting results and to kind of jumpstart you into getting the results that you need. So the very first thing, guys, is going to be your nutrition. And you're going to hear us talk about this over and over and over again because it's such an influential part of your success. Your nutrition is huge, guys. It's at least 70% of your results, and a lot of professionals are going to argue that it's even more. But regardless, it is the huge majority of your results. So if your nutrition is not where it needs to be, you're not going to get the benefits that you are working towards. So make sure that your efforts in the gym also match what you're doing in the kitchen. And that means that your calories and your macros have to align with what your goals are. If they do not, you are not going to get the results that you are fighting for, that you are working so hard to get in the gym. So make sure that those align with what you're wanting to achieve. And there's so many apps right now, guys, like MyFitnessPal. You can go to like caloriecalculator.com, I believe is what it is. There's so many different places that you can go to type in your information based off of your age, your weight, your height, your current activity level, and it will do the math for you and give you the calories and macro breakdown that you need to get the results that you're looking for. So make sure to utilize those tools. Most of them are free. There's no reason why you shouldn't be utilizing them.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, even though, going back to last week, we talked about it, nutrition was the big thing that we pretty much harped on over that series. And with this one, nutrition again, it's always going to be the beginning and it's going to be the end. It's going to make up majority of that fight that you're going to be on. And something else that you're going to do too, or going to have to keep in mind that when you're tracking those things, is that you're going to have to compensate for your activity level as well. So if you're working out and you're very intense in the gym, or you're working out multiple times in the gym and you're burning a lot of calories, or you're a little bit less active than another person, then maybe your calories is going to be less, or the person that's more active is going to have more calories, saying that you're burning more. So all of those things you're going to have to keep in mind, but that's still all about nutrition, because you want to still, even though you might need more calories or less calories, you still want to make sure a boatload of those calories you're getting are going to be things that's going to be nutritional for you as well. Things that actually have vitamins and essential nutrients to it, is actually good for the body, and that also allows you to, keep your body in the process of being able to burn fat and everything. Burn fat and gain muscle for the most part.
And Nate touched on a great point. Not all calories are equal, so we definitely want you to eat higher quality food than just trying to meet your calories or macros for the day. And I'll say this, if you are a fat loss client, so if you're wanting to lose a significant amount of weight and you have, I would say, at least 3 months to get to your goal, 3 months or longer, you don't need to count your calories or macros yet, okay? I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I want you to focus more on the quality of foods that you're getting in. So that means drink more water, increase your fruit and veggie intake. Make sure that you are eating frequently throughout the day. So we don't want you going like 6 hours without eating. Try to snack. Snacks are just that. They're a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit. Maybe some hummus and snap peas. Those are snacks, guys. So we want to make sure that you're increasing the quality of food that you're getting in, which is reducing the amount of processed foods, your fast food, your things that come in a bag, in a can, things that are already pre-made, and then also your refined sugars, which you're going to find in a lot of those items as well. as what you would also think are sugars, like your cakes, your cookies, your ice cream, limiting those items and increasing the green leafy vegetable intake, the fruit intake, and the overall look of your plate should be colorful. It should be a rainbow. You should have so many different colors on your plate, and that's where you're going to really start to see the difference and feel the difference. So if you are someone who's wanting to lose fat, do not focus on your calories or macros right now if you're not ready to, and most people are at the beginning. There's no reason to overwhelm yourself. Start off with the basics, which is the water, the fruit, and veggie intake, and I promise you're going to start to see a huge difference.
And the last thing I want to say too, because I know when we say we want you to eat a good quality of food, all of these things can get misconstrued, but we do put a huge focus on not only just making sure that you get those calories or those macros, but a good quality. And what that means is that the most general thing out there that people follow is bodybuilding, and in bodybuilding, for the most part, I'm all for exercise, but it's not always about what they're eating. It's always about how much they're eating. So a lot of the time that method isn't always going to work for everyone. You have to be extremely disciplined, so on and so on. And when it comes to how we're asking you to eat, it's a lot more consistent and it's a lot more beneficial. And then as far as long-term goes, those are habits and everything that you can do for the rest of your life. So even though, yes, you can technically go have a double cheeseburger early in the day, have nothing throughout, and then have something later in the day that's still not of good quality but it's higher in calories and everything, and you still don't go over that number that you type in, that you come up to see, hey, I should be eating this amount. Now you can still meet it in a multitude of different ways, but we're asking you to meet it in a much more healthier way, a way that is going to be a lot more better for your body, and those habits carry on and they turn into other good habits as well. So that's what we mean. So normally what you see is people are more so, guys are cut up, they're big, a woman, she's nice, she's slim, she's fit, and they got the body you want, and you see the way that they eat, and it doesn't always make sense. Well, that's because they're following a certain regimen, they're extremely disciplined, and their work ethic in the gym is on a whole nother level probably than where yours is probably currently at. So they got a bit more understanding, and those methods aren't safe for everyone. So what we're asking you to do is just to get used to doing what your body is meant to do, eating around 5 to 7 times a day, having that traditional breakfast, lunch, dinner setting, snacks in between, making sure your body isn't getting to the point where you're getting into a starvation mode and you're just wanting to put anything in, and at that point you're kind of making bad decisions, and now you're just setting yourself more and more back.
Yeah, and even if you're practicing intermittent fasting, when you get to your eating window, we still want you eating multiple times after that. So as Nate mentioned, you can absolutely reach your goals eating McDonald's every day. But I would hope that your goals would also include overall health and wellness. And if that's the case, which is what we want for you, then no, that is not something that is going to be able to be maintained long term, because someone can look good on the outside but still be at risk of heart disease. So keep that in mind, guys. We really care about the quality of foods you're getting, because it is possible to eat a high quality and get the results that you're looking for, and that is our goal for you.
And if you want to know a little bit more about that, anybody, look up one of my favorite motivational guys I look at. Is a guy, C.T. Fletcher. He's really big in the industry. It's a little bit different than what we're talking about. But again, this is a guy that had a couple heart transplants because he ate double quarter pounders and everything every day. But if you see him, you would think, oh, he's fit, he's healthy. But again, looks can be deceiving, and we just don't want to look good today like last week we talked about. You want to feel good later. So aging like fine wine, and that's going to be what kind of food you're eating, not just about how much or how not, But let's go ahead and move on, because we can stay with nutrition all day, every day.
Yeah.
But next up is going to be the lack of consistency in your training for the most part, or in the whole entirety of your setup. So you got to have consistent eating, you got to have consistent sleep, consistent healthy stress levels, low stress levels, moderate stress levels, and then you got to be consistent in the gym with your workouts. So if you're not consistent, just like anything in life, then you're always going to get poor results. So everything in life shows you that if you're not consistent in anything that you're doing, you're always going to get poor results. So consistency is always going to be key. Consistency is always key.
Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory, guys. Exactly what Nate said. In any area of life, if you're not consistent, you're not going to be successful. And that's no different with your fitness goals, okay? You have to be consistent in order for this to work. And honestly, if you're not, you're not going to provoke any type of change. And I would suggest that you are dedicating at least 3 months worth of consistency before you decide if your plan of execution works or not. Give it at least 3 months, guys. You need at least that long to really, noticeably see changes. And I would also encourage you to track your results. So take before photos, take your measurements, take your weight, which may not always be the best indicator, but you'll have all these other factors to look into because it's really hard to see results in ourselves. So make sure that you are tracking these things. So 3 months down the line or every month, you can kind of gauge your progress and make tweaks accordingly. But then at that 3 month mark, you can really tell the difference of, okay, this did provoke change in my body. I do see the changes now when I look back at my first photo versus today. So those are very powerful tools to use and to make sure that the consistency that you are putting on into the gym is paying off. So definitely encourage that. Number 3 here of why you're not getting results in the gym is going to be that you're just not challenging yourself. Simple as that. You are not taking your body to a point of muscle failure. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when you're doing an exercise, muscle failure means that you are going until you cannot go anymore. Period. It means that you are completely burning out and frying your central nervous system, that you are physically incapable of performing another rep of that movement. And you need to have days like that, consistent days like that in the gym where you are taking your body to that point and challenging yourself, where you are practicing what we call progressive overload. And that's basically just challenging yourself in the weight that you are using in the gym, that you are constantly, as you get stronger, that weight should increase, or the number of reps that you're doing should increase, however you're gauging that. So make sure that you are taking your body to a challenging point where it's difficult to finish the last 2 reps.
Right. So something I like to call it is getting out of your comfort zone. So if you're comfortable while you're working out, is everything you're doing, you're in a state of comfort, then just know that at some point, at some point that change is going to stop happening. Those results, they're going to stop happening very, very fast. Mm-hmm. Like with all new things, once you start indulging yourself in something, you're going to probably see some good results right away. I know in the fitness industry, when you first start working out, normally it's very, normal for people to see a lot of results early on, but to continue on with that, you're going to have to continually challenge yourself, because it's only right, that if you started off doing 10 push-ups on day 1. By day 15, you should have increased that load then, right? You should have gotten stronger. You should start to push yourself more. Those 10 push-ups should now have gotten a lot easier. So you should just need to continuously push yourself, get yourself out of your comfort zone, and allow your body to be in a state of discomfort so that you can challenge yourself. You can cause a chemical reaction in your body that causes your body to start really speeding up your metabolism, starting to burn fat more successfully, more quickly, more efficiently, so on and so on, and build muscle. And it just gets you closer and closer, because as you work out consistently, going back to the last one we just talked about, if you're consistent there, that means that you should be consistently also increasing the challenges in your workload every single workout, no matter if that's maybe you go a little faster this day, we're going to get to some of that talking about it, or maybe it's you lift a little heavier, whatever that case may be, and we'll get into that here very soon.
Yeah, and I think we're set there, which kind of leads us into number 4, which is your program design lacks variety. So oftentimes you will go to the gym and you'll see somebody who is there just faithfully every single day, at the same time every day. They never miss a gym session. They are very, very consistent, okay? So they're not lacking in that department. They show up, but they use the same machines. They go through the same routine. They do the exact same thing every single time that they come in, and their program design lacks a lot of variety. And guys, this will only get you results for so long. After the first month or so of doing that, I would say up to 6 weeks is really where you're gonna start pushing the line of getting results or not. You can perform that same movement for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then your body's going to figure it out. And it's gonna say, hey, well, wait a minute, I've done this before. I remember doing this. And so it's going to recruit the least amount of muscles possible to perform those movements now. And we don't want that. We want to challenge the body. We want to recruit as many muscles and as many muscle groups as possible during our workout routine. And your body's very smart. It's going to take the path of least resistance. So it's going to get kind of lazy. It's going to be smart about how it does things by reserving energy. And so if you're doing the exact same thing all the time, your body's going to figure it out, and it's going to say, hold on, I don't really need to use these muscles for this movement anymore because the muscles over here are stronger, so I'm just going to use those instead. I'm not going to recruit the weaker muscles because why? Why should I? That's the way that your body is going to respond to that. So Nate, you want to take them through some different ways that they can add variety into their routine and things that you can do to kind of switch it up?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, like we say, you can always incorporate new exercises. I mean, everyone has a smartphone today, so we can always go to YouTube, type in some type of exercise, and find a huge library full of all different kind of movements being explained well. We have our own library in our YouTube channel. You can go there, check out a lot of the movements that we have on there. You can learn those and incorporate those into your routine. Trying out different equipment. A lot of the equipment that you would go on to, especially if you were training in major gyms like a LA, a Planet, a Lifetime, or whatever that may be, those machines have descriptions on them telling you what the movement is, what muscles you're going to be targeting, and so on and so on when it comes to that. Another one is the tempo. Now this is where it gets really good because it gets kind of funny here. Now going back with the exercise, you definitely want to do new exercises and incorporate different exercises so that you're making sure that you're training all the different muscle groups. But let's say if you did do the same exercise, you want to stick with that exercise for a week. Now if you change the tempo, what I'm saying here, of that workout throughout the week, now you can still get a lot of good benefits from that workout. Maybe one day you start off very, very light in that workout. Maybe you're doing somewhere between 1 to 5 reps, but you're kind of lifting heavy, but the tempo of the workout is very, very low. That's one way you can do that workout. Another way you can do it, you can increase that rep range from about 6 to 12, where we're looking at more of a muscle building type of workout, where we're looking to develop a lot more muscle. And then you can also increase the intensity and take it to a maximum level where you're training now like an athlete and more of a performance base. And this is where you're going anywhere from 13 to 20, 25, wherever you want to take it. And that's what we like to call endurance training as well. So if you increase the tempo and change how fast and how intense you're working out, the amount of time you're allowing yourself to rest in between exercises, that will also trigger a different chemical response in the body to cause you to be able to get results. Again, you definitely still want to get new exercises in, but if you're doing the same workout and you haven't been introduced to anything else, just change up how intensely you're doing that workout until you are made aware of some new things. Something else that you can also do as well is I guess I covered them all.
Change the reps.
Yeah, change the reps and the weight. I kind of covered those as well there, but you definitely want to see variety. You want to switch it up. You want to challenge yourself. You want to be consistent with those things.
Guys,
and you want to make sure the nutrition is always on point.
All these factors, so like variety in your program design, from exercise to the use of equipment you're using, the tempo, the reps, the sets, the weight that you are utilizing. If you just change one of those things in your workout routine, it is going to provide that chemical response to help you to get results. So for instance, if I'm doing bench press, okay, we'll just use the bench press as an example. If I'm doing all bench presses, the way I change the exercise and still hit those same muscle groups is, okay, instead of a bench press, now I'm gonna do push-ups, okay? Now, using that same scenario, if I wanna change the tempo, well, instead of doing doing a normal tempo, I'm gonna slow it down and I'm gonna power up really fast and I'm gonna go down as slow as I possibly can. As soon as that bar touches my chest, I'm gonna explode again. That's changing the tempo. Changing the reps is just going to be, instead of doing, the normal 10 reps, I'm going to really challenge myself and bust out 25. The number of sets is just, okay, if I perform the bench press for 2 sets, normally I'm gonna do it for 4 today. And then the last one is weight. If I'm going to challenge myself and I've been working at 135 for a while, I don't do 135, guys, but if I were to do 135 on the bench press and wanted to challenge myself, then maybe I would bump that up about 20 pounds and see how many reps I could go. Now, obviously, guys, common sense is going to tell us as I increase the weight, my rep range is going to decrease. So just use common sense there and get yourself into a rep range that makes sense for what you're wanting to do.
And also, before we move on, that right there could be applied to the workouts that we post on the page throughout the week. Those workouts, if you're someone that's a little bit more advanced than someone else, and those reps that we provide there are a little bit on the beginner level or intermediate level and not challenging enough for you, take it up a notch. You guys are always welcome to do that. So when we send you something, you have something, you don't always have to follow it to exactly what it says. You guys are capable enough to go ahead and take it up and add a few more reps. Just increase the intensity and the tempo of what it is that we had already sent and put in front of you, and you can make it more challenging yourself.
Yep, guys, it's really not as complicated as what people make it. And then the last one, which is uncommon, but I still have seen it before. I just don't see it as frequently as the other 4 reasons. The fifth reason as to why you are not getting results in the gym is going to be overtraining. There are people out there who are guilty of this. And like I said, I don't see it as often, but it is possible to work out too much. It is possible that you are taking to your body to a point of exhaustion and you're not giving yourself the recovery needed to get the results that you want and to get back into the gym. So this step here is really for people who just like are avid gym goers and they go hard every single time. Like when we talked about not challenging yourself, these people don't have an issue with that. They challenge themselves and they challenge themselves every day, maybe multiple times a day. Okay, they are the people that go hard every single time, but they really don't give their body time to recover from that workout. So when they go into the workout the next day, their body's still recovering from 2-3 days beforehand and it can't catch up. And this is where you get into a state of overtraining. So when you get into this level of training, into overtraining, your body's not going to get the results you want. It's going to start breaking down. You could get sick frequently because your body's under stress. You may actually decrease your weight that you're using because your body is telling you, hey, slow down. So you might be lifting a certain weight and you've been doing that for a while and then you get weaker. And that doesn't make sense, right? You know, you would think it would be the other way around, but if your body is telling you, hey, I'm tired, I'm done, take a break, you might see things like that. So those are some things to pay attention to. If you're not getting the results that you're wanting to get in the gym, but also you're taking steps back, so you're not even able to maintain anymore, your body could be in a state of overtraining.
Yeah, and then another thing that can result from it is injury.
Yeah.
To it, not necessarily a hellacious injury right off the back where you severely hurt yourself, but where you can just damage your body over a long period of time from frequently working the same areas too much, not giving it time to recover, not allowing those inflamed joints from that workout, whatever the case may be, to actually recover and simmer down and let your body just get back to a state of being able to go in the gym and actually get results. So, and it's kind of like too, I was thinking as Larissa was talking, trying to make this correlation, it's kind of like when we talked to you about water intoxication, where like she said, overtraining can be very, very tricky. Like it's a certain way that you have to go about it for it to really, really affect you. But it can affect you, but you can still train a lot. But it's like, let's say if you did 2 a days, meaning you're working out twice a day. Some people would consider that overtraining. But if you're only doing that Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday you're resting, that's okay. But if you're training 2 times a day, 7 days a week, now we're really getting in a a room where you can really do some damage to yourself, long term and short term.
Or if you're somebody who's not in an exercise routine right now and you jump all in and you're like, I'm gonna do 2-a-days, and you do that for like the next 3 weeks or a month, your body's probably gonna go into a state of overtraining. And a perfect example of this was a time in my life in middle school, actually, where I was 2 weeks late into the cross country season. And they were already running, I don't know, we'll say like 10 miles or something for the day. And I had already missed that buildup to get to that point. I had missed 2-3 weeks of training with them. So when I decided to get into cross country and run, I went all in that first day and I ran the 10 miles, okay? And I was able to do it. My body allowed me to do it. I completed it. I even did it in a relatively decent time. But what happened to me right afterwards? I got shin splints. And that is a state of overtraining, because my body, even though it was capable of doing it, it wasn't the smartest thing for me to do. So you guys need to use good judgment, and your body will let you know. It will let you know if it's too much, and my body definitely did that day. So ease your way into it. If you're not in a normal routine right now, you don't have to go all in and make up for lost time. This is a lifelong goal, okay? This is a lifestyle change, and you can gradually work your way up to it. In fact, that is what we suggest you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have anything?
That pretty much does it for today.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and we will address your question and answer you as soon as possible. And if you're struggling with any of these areas and you feel like you just can't do it on your own, we would love to help you. We are offering so many different virtual training options right now that are really available for all budgets. So please, guys, if you want some more assistance in your fitness routine or your overall health and wellness journey, we would love to be a part of that with you. So if this sounds like you and you need help in one of these 5 areas, or maybe multiple areas, go ahead and reach out to us directly, or you can go to neversettlefitness.org and schedule a complimentary consultation. But that's all, guys. We love you. Thank you so much. Make sure to join us every Tuesday at 2 o'clock live here on our Facebook page for Trainer Talk Tuesdays. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yep. And if you already signed up for our virtual training, we'll see you tonight at 6:30.
Have a good day, guys.
All right.
Bye.